What's up, race fans? You're watching Bazinga Autosport. My name is Gabe, and we are here at Circuit Gilles Villeneuve in Canada for a test drive of the Formula Renault 2.0. This car is the car that I'm most excited about for the 2016 Season 2 release, and we are running it under the test drive mode for iRacing offline. The servers are still down at this point, which basically means that there's no way to actually access iRacing service and drive online, but this 2016 Season 2, I'll have to say iRacing has outdone themselves by adding this testing feature. Any car that you own or any track that you own, you can drive. I think that's the intention. However, if you do testing mode while the servers are offline, which is the only way that you can, but if you do this, you are able to, well, you're able to go ahead and drive any car that you've downloaded at this point. For example, this morning I was able to run the BMW GT3 car, which I don't currently own. I'm not sure if that's intentional. I imagine it's probably not. A couple of snap reactions. Off of the first build, I don't believe that we're running DirectX 11. It still says DirectX 9 when the sim is loading. But we do have this guy over here. I'm not sure if you've noticed, but he's definitely more animated. His fingers are wiggling there, and he's kind of bouncing on his knees a little bit. His finger that's holding the pit board sign is twitching. So that's kind of a cool feature. I'm glad that they added some animation to him. But let's take this car for a spin. Hopefully not a literal spin. Early access to this car, early access tests to this car said that it's a very twitchy race car. More twitchy than the Star Mazda. Which means it's going to live up to its namesake if you've watched any Formula Renault races. It looks like those guys are twitchy on the pace lap. So with that being said, I'm definitely going to conclude that this car is twitchy as well. It seems like it's twitchy. It's definitely going to be a lot of fun to drive, though. Don't know why, but I already like this more than the Star Mazda. It feels much more Formula One-like. Seven-speed transmission. I don't know if I'm actually going to use that here, or if I'll need it. It's nice to know that you have it. But this car is going to be a great addition to the iRacing stable, primarily because of how twitchy it is. Car feels pretty stable under braking. And of course I'm definitely taking it easy right now, but definitely feels controllable. That was something that I was concerned about, at least for myself, when watching the initial testing videos of this car. People were saying that it definitely is much more twitchy than the Star Mazda. I was starting to get concerned. Like, ooh, maybe I won't be able to control this because Don't hit the wall of champions. I'm still not very experienced driving sim race cars, and I'm not experienced enough to be able to control cars that don't have manners. And I can definitely tell that this one has the potential for not having manners. Don't bump over the curbs like that. But this is definitely a step up from Skip Barber in terms of the technology that it employs. And it also is definitely more of a downforce car. So we'll finish up this lap and then we'll move on to a couple of the other race cars that this build offers. Enjoying the engine sound, and the car feels pretty stable. I know I'm going slow, but that's the way it goes when you don't want to wreck on your first couple of times out on a video, talking and driving. If you don't think it's hard, you try it. And actually record yourself and put it up on YouTube. Alright. Well, that was fun. I'm definitely going to come back to that in testing mode. Let's move on, though, for the time being, and we'll move on to the Audi. So we're here at Donington, running the national layout to test out the new Audi R8 LMS GT3 car. Engine noise sounds pretty cool. I'm actually really excited about this car and the Mercedes coming to iRacing because it means a new era of GT3 racing for us here at iRacing. That's an interesting brake noise. Braking for the other layout. Lined up on the wrong side there. So to be honest with you, I'm not sure about I can give you a good reaction for this car in terms of how it handles, what it feels like to drive. It definitely feels like a GT3 car. But how it compares to the other cars on the service, well, I'm not too sure I can give you an honest reaction to that. I haven't driven enough GT3s to be able to say, oh, it feels like this, or it feels like this. A little loose coming out of the corner, but it was able to manage it. I do like that. all of the videos here, I've just left the baseline setup that the car comes with. And I'm by no means an experienced sim racer, so if you think you could get more speed out of these cars, well, you're absolutely right. Pushing the limits to see how much abuse or how much abuse or there's the point. That's what you don't want to do right there. So I'll say a couple other things about testing. I'll say a couple other things about testing mode. You cannot control the weather that you get. I imagine it's probably set to default weather. It might be set to something else, but I'm going to go with default. The other thing about testing mode is that aside from weather, you can't really change whether it's day or night. You're stuck with day, and I imagine, like I said, the default weather that you would get at any track. Now, bear in mind, default doesn't mean, I believe it's 70 degrees Fahrenheit and some other set humidity and sunny track conditions. So that makes things interesting, at least. Well, I like this car. I'm not sure I'm going to race it because driving the Mercedes a little bit, I imagine, is going to change my mind about which of these cars I prefer, but I'm not sure. We've got the pit guy here. I did want to put this into the video. We've got the pit guy standing out. He looks like he's a little bit braver now, holding his sign out. And let's see how long this takes. Well, let's move on to the Mercedes and take a look at how that car. Okay, so since iRacing does not provide any new venues with which to race in their 2016 Season 2 build, we're here at Laguna Seca, Mazda Raceway, to test out the new Mercedes GT3 car. And I have to say that I love the engine sound. I like it better than the Audi sound. So I don't typically make decisions on engine sounds alone. So let's take this thing out on the track and see what happens. Boy, that engine sound is making it easy to sell this car, though. Snap reaction, this car is definitely a little bit less polite if you go down too hard on the throttle with the wheel turned. You're definitely going to have to make some corrections if you go down too early on the throttle. Let's see if I can make it up through the corkscrew here. Those of you who may be wondering if there's a jackhammer going on in the background, there is. I apologize for the noise, but I wanted to get these videos done while the servers are still down. And before you start making any snide comments about how iRacing servers will be down all day, I really would like to remind you that there's been a lot of steps that have been taken by iRacing to expand their communication and tell people what's going on with the service. If you don't subscribe to Twitter or Facebook, don't do any social media, well, yeah, you might feel still in the dark. That's kind of how people communicate about these issues these days. So either get on the bandwagon or get in a race car and go do some testing. My gosh. Also, I like the pre-order system that iRacing has put in place. We normally have to wait until the build is complete to download all of the content, to buy the new cars. It's made it so that I could purchase some oval tracks and pre-order the new race cars without actually having to worry about waiting in line or having servers down or making sure that my purchase went through and then updating the servers like the Season 1 build was. Again, go down too hard on the throttle, got a little slide here. This car's not fun to correct. As compared to the Audi, just a little flick of the wheel seems like is all you need. With this car, you're gonna have to fight with a little bit more, I think. Again, this is coming from somebody who hasn't raced GT3 cars except for once, and has the default setup loaded in a test session prior to the build. So definitely my personal opinions, take them with a grain of salt. If you're an expert GT3 racer, or you think you're an expert GT3 racer, well, then you wouldn't have done something like that, would you? Let's turn the car around and continue this lap here. So something that I will be doing later in the week is making a video in regards to the actual Season 2 build. There's a lot of new features that are coming with this build that I would like to take a look at, provide some reactions to. A couple of them, namely, is DirectX 11, just to see how that affects my system's performance. I'm definitely not in the category of having the most amazing system. So if DirectX gives me a few more frames per second, allows me to add a little bit more eye candy, well, I'm definitely okay with that. The other thing that I'm really interested in, and I think it's actually a very crucial immersion point for the sim, is getting dirt on your tires. And I know a lot of people have talked about this and that it happens already, but if I go off into the sand here, in the previous build, there would be no buildup on my tires. And I believe that not only do we get to see a visual representation of that with open wheel cars, but I believe that it actually is going to have an effect on the grip levels that your tires can provide for you when you are rejoining the race. So that's interesting, and I'd like to keep that in mind and see how that works. And we'll probably do some demos of that with the Formula Renault. I know that this feature's already been shown on a couple of videos, but the truth of the matter is that I'd like to take a look at it myself. Definitely something that's very immersive, though, that's being added. There's also talk of new tire compounds coming out for the Formula 1 car, that's the McLaren. So on and so forth. So a little bit later in the week I'll have a video covering covering the key features of Season 2. Alright guys, well, thank you for riding along with Bazinga Autosport today. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you liked this video, please hit the like button at the bottom of the YouTube thingamabob, and subscribe for more videos, not like this, but actually of me racing and commentating about the racing that I'm doing. You can expect some more videos this season, and I hope you've enjoyed them. Thank you to all of my subscribers who have been watching since day 1, or who have been watching since day 2 or day 3. Whenever you joined, thank you. Thanks for supporting the channel. I really appreciate it. And I hope that you continue to enjoy the videos. Again, so coming this week, we'll have a video of the Season 2 build features, and again, after that, most likely a race or two, if I can figure out a way to throw it in there. Sorry about the jackhammering again, and we'll talk to you soon.